Hey guys, Languagehacker here, and it's been a week or so since the mini set has come out. I wanted to talk about what decks look like they're on top now. So let's hop right in and talk about the 5 decks I think are the best right now. All right, first off, Control Warrior is the nuts. It did not get worse with the mini set. In some senses, it got better. There's a couple new cards that popped up. Igneous Lava Gorger, which I think is actually a pretty good fit in the deck. The list I had here is still old school Control Warrior from before the mini set. But I was also running something like this on ladder, and this code will be in the description below, like all the other decks in this video. And the Gorgers I've liked quite a bit. I do not like at all, actually, the Tidal Revenants. You can make a list that does not run Kazakhstan, that is a bit more damage-oriented, where you run Tidal Revenants, Alexstrasza, and you just end the game by killing your opponent. And I think that's a nice take on Control Warrior if you don't want to mess around with Kazakhstan stuff. But I still think Kazakhstan is a bit better because it has there are some matchups in ladder that you absolutely need Kazakhstan for, and if you don't have it, you automatically lose. One is the Mirror. Two is Control Paladin technically can grind you out if you don't have Kazakhstan in your deck. And there's a couple of other ones. It helps against something like Mech Paladin as well, and just in some cases, if you randomly lose some stuff in your deck because of mills or whatnot, it helps having just like a standalone win condition at the end. But otherwise, the rest of the deck just performs so well into the meta. A bunch of removal stuff, and then either closing the game out with Kazakhstan or damage. Charge Warrior is still kind of okay as well, but I don't think it's as good as Control Warrior. So this is my #1 deck. The other four I'm not as convinced as in terms of what I think is going to be like second, third, fourth, or fifth. Like ranking wise, meh, but Controller is definitely on top. I've seen some people have a lot of success with Fel Hunter. They got some new cards with Herald of Chaos and Fossil Fanatic, which is very, very nice. Having a bit of extra card draw for your, aggressive mid-rangey game plan, and then making sure you more consistently draw your burn spells because you draw Fel spells, and by drawing your other stuff, like the spells, you also make it more likely to draw your finishers, Kurtrus, Zalag, Jace, Keria. And Herald of Chaos is a nice mid-gamey thing that you can add because it's something that Demon Hunter was lacking a little bit pre-mini set. But so far, this is looking to be quite good. And it doesn't have that bad of a matchup into Warrior either. So if you're seeing a bunch of Warriors, you can consider this. But it's just a solid deck in general. Really good tempo, good curve, good burst, and some really nice finishers here. Next up, this is not probably the exact 30 cards you see on the stats websites. I use HS Replay personally, but this is something that I saw J. Alexander running similarly. Well, there's like a few cards off. I changed some stuff. But a rogue kind of like this, or very similar to this, I think is quite good right now. I think some people are running Scabs as well, but I didn't really have it on Europe. You can consider running Scabs over like a Shadow Step. A deck like this just seems good. The null change just makes Rogue broken again. I'm sure you've seen it. Rogue's all over ladder. And broken in the sense that if they have it, the game just feels awful. So it's a card that you want to mulligan for when you're playing this deck. Peasants are a new addition to the deck. Verdict's still out on whether or not they're good, but playing it on 1 does often net you draws against a lot of the tempo decks. Or sorry, a lot of the meta decks, i.e. Warrior. It's particularly bad against Demon Hunter. And against the Mirror, the Rogue, they're not actually in Rogue mode, so they can't dagger your Peasant down. I'm not convinced if it's better or not yet, but I played a bunch of this today and it felt pretty solid. But if you don't like this, you can still play old school Rogue, where you don't run Peasants, Jackpots, or Tests, or the stashes. You run more a piratey version with like Fillet Fighters, Steps, Edwin, Smite, Scabs, and that deck is also doing quite well. I think the win rates are very similar at Legend Diamond ranks, so whatever one floats your boat. Jackpot's a little more fun, but it's very high variance, and the Pirate list is also just more consistent. I'll post that in the link below, not just this one. But basically, Thief, Rogue, depending on what kind of package you want to run. I think both are pretty good right now. Holy Paladin got some spicy stuff as well. Myrmidon, after you cast a spell in this mini and draw a card, works very well with Holy Mackerel. And I mean, any other cards you have that are targeted, but Mackerel specifically because it's repeatable and it costs 1 mana, so you can just draw a bunch of cards with this. And drawing that also, doing that combo also discounts Light Ray, one of the other new cards. It's 9 mana 5/5, taunt, costs 1 less for each Paladin card you played this game. So you can have like a nice little card draw engine and then end the turn with like a Light Ray or 2. And just in general, Light Ray gets pretty cheap as the game goes on. Board clears are very good against the tempo decks right now. You still have Smite and the Garden's Graces finishers. Cariel is just a powerhouse as well. This can just single-handedly solo matchups. And the rest of the deck is just tempo stuff, right? Spend your mana early game, get some board clears, get to Carriol, and then close out the game with Smite, Garden's Grace, or just punching them in the head enough with Carriol. This deck seems pretty solid. It does have some bad matchups. I think it's very, very bad in the Control Warrior, but otherwise it seems pretty well placed, and stats still show that it's pretty good right now in the meta. The new cards have definitely helped Holy Paladin a bit. Finally, this deck is 30 cards the same, but Boar I still think is a very, very good deck. It's a little complicated to play, and it might not fit the exact meta you're chilling at, but it is very good against Control Warrior, which I mentioned is one of the best decks I think right now. So if you're facing a lot of Control Warriors, consider learning Boar Priest and just dunking them in the head with the Sword of a Thousand Truths. Yeah, nothing new about this deck. The only 4 classes that got new stuff is Rogue. Well, I mean, out of the classes here, Paladin, Rogue, DH, and Warrior. And arguably, even in the Rogue, if you don't want to be running like the Jackpot package, there's really not new cards that Rogue is running, which is kind of funny. Maybe not haha funny, but funny-ish. Yeah, and also it's worth noting that Queen of Shar got a little bit less good with the Contraband Stash test stuff because there aren't 2 new neutral Colossals. So that means you will, on average, get a non-class or a non-rogue, let's say. It's more common you'll get something that doesn't come back from Contraband Stash or test, is what I'm saying. So I would probably recommend the Pirate list a bit better, but this is a bit more fun, and I've had although this is an incredibly frustrating card, and I hate Jackpot, just because of how high variance it is. It makes really absurd games that feel awful or great, depending on which side you're on. I mean, it is exciting, so if you're into that, try that. Anything else to say? Yeah, I mean, this isn't really a guide. This is just telling you guys what I think the best decks are right now. So if you want to climb, I would recommend any of these decks, and this is great for like Diamond, Legend, probably at low ranks too. Like, it doesn't really matter what rank you're at. If you're playing the deck, having fun, playing well, you should be climbing. So check the description below for all the deck codes. Drop a follow if you're not already. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and happy mini set expansion thing. Have fun. See you guys next time.